back to another episode of CRE, The Unspoken Truth. I'm Charlie Coppola, joined by my father, Craig, CEO of CRE One Source, a longtime commercial real estate broker at Lee and Associates. Today, our topic is how to do more with your time. I'd say something that just growing up with you, I know this is a hot topic for you.
I've been looking forward to this one.
Yeah, this is a good one for you. You're the right person to have on for this. And I just know, being with you around the community, so many people, come up to you and say, how do you do so much with your time? How do you fit so much into one day or 1 week? So this is a very appropriate topic for you. So
well, I would say, let me just, I know the summary right now is really get clarity on what is important in your life. If you have 3 or 4 things, your career, your family, your health, and that if you could just narrow down those and get super darn clear on that kind of thing. And then, as I say in The Fantastic Life Revisited, rule number 12, do nothing in moderation. Do nothing in moderation. And why do I say that? It's like, I don't want to do anything in moderation if it's that important to me. And I now, because I'm older, I have I can do more than when I was young, but I have narrowed it down, man. These are the things that I do, and I do them really well. I really focus on them, so it looks like I get a lot done. And I do, because I'm super focused on that, and I don't waste time doing a bunch of stuff that doesn't mean anything to me.
So give me a few examples of early in your life, things that you said no to. Like, you clearly had to cut stuff out to make time to focus more on these things that are important to you. What are the things that you cut out?
Golf was a big one. In my business, lots of people golf. I gave it up. Wasn't very good at it. Took 4 hours every time you went out. Golf was one. Live sporting events. Gave up all kinds of sporting events, concerts, those kinds of things. That wasn't important to me. Sleep. Gave up a lot of sleep. So I started crushing everything that was not important. And I would look at it. I'd literally look at it. Going out to the bar and hang out with my friends was something. And not that I say that's important for everybody, but I wasn't a drinker at the bars and hanging out and going to the bars with my friends. That just wasn't on my important list. And so I really got clear of what was important to me. And as you know, I've had careers in multiple sports. I've been very successful in multiple sports, and I've been successful in multiple businesses, and I've been successful raising kids. And those are the things, and having a long-term relationship with your mom. Those are the things that have been absolutely critical to me. And so that's what I do.
Yep. So priorities change. And, you said you've been successful in multiple sports. I know you were a baseball player, and then you were a runner and an ultra runner, and then you were a black belt in Taekwondo. So what caused you to kind of change these? And how did you look at the shifting priorities or the shifting interests, and how did you evaluate those changes?
Well, baseball, they've told me that you're not good enough. So I got released playing baseball. I would have done that as a career. There's nothing better than getting paid to play a game. So that was great. The running career, I had run. There was maybe one race that I didn't do. I always wanted to do Badwater, and I didn't do Badwater, but everything else I had done. I had broken, on all the running things that I wanted. I ran a fast 10K, I ran a fast half, I ran a fast marathon, I ran a fast 50, I ran a 100-mile race, I did multi-day races. So I had done a lot of those, and it takes its toll. I think there was a 15-year period of my life. I think 15 years of my life where I could have run a marathon any day of the year. If you just would have got up in the morning and said, hey, let's go run a marathon, I could have done that. And that's just a lot of a time commitment. So that was that. And then Taekwondo, you get old. When we were at the World Championships, I was 40 years old, 40 years ish. By far the oldest man on our team. And it bangs you up. Taekwondo is a very rough sport. It's for young people. So now we're doing we did ultra trail hiking, multi-day backpacking at long distances, and we're slowing down on that too as we get older. So just to focus on that. But I do think the clarity throughout the career is important. When am I going to give this up? What's important to me? If it's not the same thing anymore, is really strong. Jim McDonald, who I've written about before, is my dentist, is also a super smart guy, gave me this concept called shelf life. He says food has shelf life and so do events. And so just make sure that those events are something you still want to do.
So it was kind of a, for the athletic side, it was a physical change, also met with you had accomplished what you wanted to, and you were starting to think about the next thing. That also, I'm sure you were revisiting it pretty regularly to make that decision to jump into the next thing.
Yeah, I look at that to simply goal setting and what's important to me.
Yep.
I do think, because we're talking about time here, that the goal setting of what's important to you and how much time you're going to commit to it, nothing took more time than my career. So I think people are going to listen to this and go, okay, I understand that clarity is important. So give me some tips on how do we get super efficient in our business? How do we grow and do more with less? And so I don't want to get tied into too much clarity, because clarity is the big chunks of stuff. And I got, I don't know, 600, 700 hours a year back from just giving up golf. And then what do you do with that 700 hours becomes the next thing. And that goes to, I'm going to work more, 700 hours more, put me ahead. And you know, we've done an unspoken truth on how do you set your trajectory. That's how you set your trajectory. When you're young and you give up golf, I gave up golf at 24, 25 years old. Just think of all the time that I've saved now, and I parlayed that into my work. So then the second question becomes, how do you get more effective at your work? And how do you get more effective in your life? And so I spend, let me give you one thing that I do. I spend a tremendous amount of time refining every habit that I do. Like if you saw my morning routine, if you saw my evening routine, if you saw how that I go to work, how do I, plan everything, all of that is very conscious, very, very deliberate. And I spend a ton of time refining it. So I'm really efficient, really efficient.
Well, I think the perfect story, I think you've told it on one episode before, the perfect story that encapsulates that is you hike with Brad, your buddy, every morning, and you can tell it, but time.
Yeah. Our house is 8 minutes away from the office. Brad's house is 4. So I said, can I have a key to your back room? Brad was single and alone at the time, and he said, sure. And so I started saving 4 minutes each way. So that was 8 minutes each day, because I didn't go home. And it was really more like 15 or 20, because if I went home, then I'd have, some time with your mom. And so I was saving 15, 20 minutes just by not driving that extra 4 minutes each way. And then I started noticing Brad was leaving the hiking in his car, and he would go get a iced coffee at Starbucks through the drive-through. And I thought, okay, let's game on this. Let's see if we can get really efficient. So I would just get in, I'd turn on the hot water. I mean, I had it down to a science. Turn on the hot water, shave, jump in the shower, get out, dress, tie, knotted up, everything out. And I got to the point where about 50% of the time I could beat Brad leaving his house before he was pulling in with his iced coffee. And to me, I was like, okay, now I'm saving a whole bunch of time. And what did I do with that time? It's not that I pissed it away. I went ahead and I did important things with it. And I can tell you 100 different things that I've done that way, including the things that we do now with our team. Like we set up our cold call lists. I have the lists of my cold calls to make, and I print them out. A lot of folks your age don't. I print them out. Why? Because I can make cold calls from the car. If I'm driving somewhere, I can make cold calls. I can get some of those calls out of the way. And so a constant thing of how can I be more effective and efficient is important.
Yeah. And so why is this important? There's a few things. I was actually talking to you and thinking about this. I stretch every night before bed, 5 to 10 minutes, and I'm good at it, but I haven't gotten better in years. And my sisters, the other kind of example I have is my sisters now have kids, right? And they've asked you for advice. and you said, hey, just, you and mom have both said, hey, just be there when they need you. Like always be there, give them time, give them attention. And so I've thought about everything in life you can be better at. You can be a better parent. You can be better at stretching. You can be a better employee, or, make more money if you just commit more time. And, that's an easy answer. The hard part is, how do you actually
Execute it.
Right?
Yeah. So this idea of how do we take our routines and make them better? One of the things that I've found is there's this sine wave for routines. I started my morning routine, for example, and over a year I built it up, and it went from 2 or 3 minutes to 15 minutes, and then year 2 it went to 30 minutes, and year 3 it was at 40 minutes, and it was like, okay, too much. I've now turned a morning routine into a workout. So I backed off of that. And this year I'm down to about 25 minutes, which seems to be about the right number. And I'm changing it. It's not static. While I'm tracking the same things, I'm doing a few things. I've added different things into it. Like I have a way now of I'm squatting down and I'm dropping to my knees. Every morning I'm doing a ground flow every morning, which I wasn't doing before. I'm doing pulls and instead of just push-ups. So there's a whole, I want to get better every time. And you have to look at what you're doing all the time with a critical eye to say, can I get that better? And I think that's just a habit you develop. I'll tell you kind of a funny story. When I shower, I have this certain way that I hang my towel, and I dry off my towel a certain way. So I know it's exactly where I'm doing. So my face is on the clean side of the towel. I get in and out of the shower super quickly because I know exactly what I'm going to do. I shave in the shower. You set up all those things with your shaving cream and your razor and all that's in there. And these seem like little things, and they are little things. But if you start living your life to be more efficient, then you can be more efficient. And some people would look at this and say, hey, that's not for me. And I applaud them for understanding that. And I say it's 100% for me. I want my life to be as efficient that I can so that, I can do the things that are important to me.
Well, a lot of this comes from clarity. And we talked on another episode, Rocks, Gravel, Sand. You wrote a book on it. It's a framework really for goal setting. And, it's all about the gravel piece, and our podcast. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. But it does come back. A lot of it comes back to clarity. And that's how you started this. And so I'm curious, how much time and what does it look like for you to get clarity on what's important, and how much time, and how often do you spend time working on getting clarity?
Well, every month. I mean, I'm in my top 10 goals, which is, 86 pages typed 11 by 17. So I'm in those every single month. I have a tracking sheet that takes about 5 minutes every morning. I'm tracking what I do today, what I've done the previous day, and I'm tracking those things because they're important to me. Did I connect with you? Did I connect with your mom? Did I connect with your sisters? Did I do my morning routine? Then I track all the push-ups that I've done. I can tell you how many push-ups, how many sit-ups, how many pulls, all those kinds of things. So I'm thinking about it on a regular basis every single day. So when you think about that on every single day, you start looking and start seeing things. I'll give you an example. About 10 years ago, I noticed I'm a big backpacker and I'm out 30 nights a year. This year, somewhere in the mid 40s, maybe 50 nights on the ground. And I started thinking about how much time it takes me to get ready to go backpacking. And so we didn't hire, I got a gift from Chelsea, who's super organized, and they came in and organized my entire, where all my backpacking gear is. And now I can I can get packed. I have my list. I have this massive, really cool list of what I take. I do a checklist on it and I can get packed in 20 or 30 minutes. And when I unpack, I clean it all up and I put it all away. So it's super organized. And we've done that in almost all areas of our life. And so that my life becomes super easy when I'm trying to fix it and clean it up. And you have to constantly do that because clutter gets in your life.
Yep. So one of the other kind of topics I wanted to touch on, achievement. And I think a lot of times people will say, hey, Craig, how do you get so much done? How do you do, all of this with the same amount of time as all of us? And I know a lot of that comes back to achievement. You've been very achievement oriented. and really valued bucket list items and achievements and more well-known, I guess things. And so I look at, someone can work out every day and do the same run or the same workout every day and have very little achievement, but they're still in good shape. And so how did you balance the two, or why did you steer more towards the achievement and the bucket list items?
I spent the last 10 years thinking about that. Was the achievement offsetting all the being present? Because I spend a lot of time thinking about being present and reading, Eckhart Tolle and Michael Singer and all the Stoic books. But I do think that the achievement part, understanding what you want and going for it, is really important. One example is, we've had some financial success. I've had a lot of financial success, and we wanted to pass that along to you. Last night, as you know, we're here in Santa Barbara with the whole family, and we do this annual family finance meeting. Last night was the 11th year in a row that we've done it. And for 11 years, every single damn year, your mom is like, oh, I don't think the kids want to do it. Oh, they roll their eyes. And when we're done, there's just this learning that happens. And so I think one of the things that I've done is said, this is important to me. And I've made it an important thing to pass along some financial learnings that I've had, because I didn't have a father who had any idea about money. And so I've spent a lot of time thinking about it, and I want to make it easier for you guys. And so it is important, and it forces, you have to take stands. And I know that if I wasn't as so committed, so focused, so achievement oriented on this, then it wouldn't happen. And so I've had to take stands on that a number of times, because it's lots of the world is against you on this stuff. The world conspires to make you soft, and it conspires to make you malleable, and it conspires to make you one of everybody else. And I don't think that's not what I wanted in life. I love Goggins. He wants to be uncommon amongst the uncommon, and I wanted to be the best that I could be, similar to David Goggins and what he does with my life.
Yeah. Well, I think too, and I can say from my perspective, the achievement is the clarity, it's the goal, it's what drives you when you don't have anything else driving you, So I use it as another layer of motivation. Running a marathon, to me, is more of a means to an end. It's more of, I want to live a healthy life, and therefore I want to be working out consistently. Yep. And I want to be stretching, I want to be eating healthy. And so I'm going to plan this marathon because I know that'll force me to work out, be healthy, and all this stuff. And it's not necessarily about the marathon. It's more about living a healthy life.
It's funny. I have this story, and I've never told her, but there's this woman that we know. Her name's Kathy Peterson, and she is in phenomenal shape. I used to go to the Village, which is our workout place. She would be there every morning. She never missed. She's in phenomenal work. She runs 8 miles. She never misses. And I just talked to her. I said, why don't you run some marathons or half marathon? No, I just do my 8 mile run. And I'm like, you're in way better shape. And so I look at my resume on running, and she's way more committed than I was, but I have 60 plus marathons and ultra marathons to my name, and she doesn't have any. And I'm like, for me, I wanted those achievements to help drive me. And you just said this, look, these achievements, while I'm getting these achievements, I'm doing lots of healthy things. And to your point, as I said earlier, there was a 15-year period where I could have run a marathon any day. And I just got back from a 60-mile hike. Well, we were there 2 weeks, so we probably did 120 miles in Glacier. And it's because I've been focused on doing those things, that I'm in decent shape and I can do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think back to the topic, and really to recap this, the topic of do more with your time, or how to do more with your time. The answer is really focus, right? Get clarity on what's most important, and do nothing in moderation, right? Just commit a lot of time and energy and effort towards that.
So yeah, I think there's two pieces. The big piece is exactly that clarity. And I'm gonna use this analogy because Dealview does this. We created the dashboard. And when you look at the dashboard, it gives me certain clarity every single morning. If you open up the dashboard in our deal view and you look at the top 5 deals, have I done everything that this is literally my first hour of the day now. I have so much clarity in that because we have deal view. I open that up. Am I looking at the first top 5 deals that are important? Have I done everything I've done on those? And you scroll down a little bit. These are the deals that our team's going to close this week. What can I do to move those to close this week? And right to the left of it, these are the deals that we said we're going to close last week. If they're still haven't been updated, we do it. So this little cycle, just that one little page on deal view, allows me to not only get clarity, but it also tells me exactly what I'm supposed to do every single day, the first hour of the day. And when I do that, I have so much goodwill. And then if I scroll down and I look at lease expirations, now I can start getting ahead of my game. It's like, okay, first biggest deals closed right now. Now, what are the lease expirations coming out? And so that clarity of what I want to do and how I'm going to do it gets me super efficient. So the first part is clarity. The second part is efficiency. DealView gives me efficiency, right? It gives me the ability to tell me exactly what's important in my pipeline, and then tells me exactly what to do. As soon as I see the name of the deal, I know exactly what I need to do on it. I don't need a to-do list to tell me what to do on a deal. I just need them to remind me to do that.
Yep.
And so I think in life, this is what we want: clarity. And then we want to constantly develop this habit of how can I be more efficient? Let me give you an example real quick. Every runner that we have for the last 30 years, we come in and we go, all right, let's talk about your morning routine. And they all come in and they say, okay, I get up at 6, I roll in the office by 7:15 or 7:30. By the time they run with us, they get up at 6, they're in the office by 6:20. I mean, we teach them how to cut an hour out every single day. So that's 5 hours or 6 hours a week, because they're at least working 6 days a week. And so these guys are getting, and gals are getting, clarity on what they're trying to do. They're compressing everything that's not essential. And then over time, if you develop that habit, you can make your life super, super efficient.
Yep. So clarity, then refine your habits, your systems, and get more efficient so that you can you can squeeze more time out of it, right?
I laugh all the time. Your mom has these big bags. She gets out of the car, she throws her keys in the bag, and then she's always looking for her damn keys. I'm like, I just put a bowl right by the door. Throw your keys in the bowl instead of the purse, and I can literally save you somewhere between a minute to 2 minutes every time you get in your car, which is going to be totals up to 30 to 40 minutes a week. And then all of a sudden you're like, you got some time left. And it's just, to me, it's natural, but I don't think it's not natural to her. It's like literally set up, put your keys there. That's an easy process to do.
Yeah.
Get your shoes out the night before you're running, right? Get your running clothes ready. That's going to put you in a position so you can run better.
Yep. Well, I laugh. It's the same thing with my wife. Her keys are all over the house, depending on the day. It's just,
we've been laughing. You know, we're all up here, we're laughing. We have the rental car, and the keys have been in 100 different places. Nobody knows who's got the keys, where they are. It's like, if I was running the show, which you clearly am not with the family, the keys would have been, all right, this is where the car keys are going to go. We would have set that up, then everybody would know they are. So
yeah.
And life is easy that way. And I will tell you that I have found things that I've been doing for 20, 30 years that I just laugh at and go, why didn't I make this more efficient?
Yeah.
Why didn't I do this better? And now I am. And it's like, oh man, I just lost all that time. So the idea of creating an efficient life allows you to do more of what you want to do.
Yeah. Well, those are such fun wins when you find them too. You're like, oh, look, I just saved myself, 15 minutes a day or whatever it is, so awesome.
I started, we run in the heat in Arizona, where our hike in the heat. And so every morning in the summer, it gets super hot. So we would take 100 ounces of water, because we're out there for 3 hours. I take 100 ounces. I get up in the morning and I would, go to the ice machine. I'd put ice in there, and sometimes it would all melt, sometimes it would. So I started saying, well, I can be more effective at that. So I started taking my Nalgene canteens and I would fill them up with 25% water, and I put them in the freezer. So now I get out, I just get up, they're frozen. I put the water in it, I close the water, and I'm on my way. I don't have to scoop. I'm not spilling ice everywhere. It's just a little win for me. And if you can multiply those times 100 every day, which I have done, it's really cool.
Yep. Yep. So clarity and then efficiency. Refine each little habit, get those little wins, steal a minute here, 5 minutes there. And that's how you can do more with your time. From the true expert on this topic, Craig, thank you.
The freak. You're welcome.
Yeah. All right. Thanks again.
Thanks.